this race is far from over. There are dozens of states left to go. And the next one is my sweet state of South Carolina.
And that this was going to be Nikki Haley's best shot at making any difference at all in the nomination race. After today, the question is, where does she go? How can she develop some level of momentum? And the answer probably is she can't.
And just a little note to Nikki, she's not going to win. She's not going to win.
Trump's support is unique in American politics today. It is so extremely emotional. Trump's base supporters are simply glued to Donald Trump. He has their support no matter what it is that he does, and he's well aware of that. That base, of course, is no more than maybe a third to 40% of Republican voters, but that's quite sufficient in the nomination race because most people don't vote in primaries and caucuses. The people who do vote are the people who are the most fervent Democrats and Republicans, and in the Republican case, those are Trump supporters. So really, it's difficult to imagine how Haley could have done anything differently. But basically, I think we need to accept that the general election starts tomorrow. And that is a very sobering thought, given that it's going to be highly partisan, it's going to be extremely intense, it's going to be very high spending. And we've got 10 months of it in front of us before this gets over with in November, if it gets over with in November.
Okay,
You know, there's a theory of the case, I think, that she is going to try and make strategically about the accumulation of delegates. She might want to be the alternative to Donald. She certainly is the alternative to Donald Trump, particularly if the party needs an alternative to Donald Trump, given the pending court cases and maybe a prospective conviction, those types of things. So it's an intriguing, what happened in New Hampshire tonight is intriguing. It wasn't surprising, but now we have to see whether or not Haley can effectively make a case that she is the alternative, particularly to a Republican base that appears not to be convinced that for the most part is solidly behind Donald Trump.
I am going to spend every single day proving to you that you made the right decision. God bless you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You know, Nikki Haley has been, at least in some domains, sort of performed as a moderate Republican, not an extreme right Republican who could outflank Donald Trump. And so that aspect of her record may, in an interesting way, complicate this. And South Carolina Republican Party politics can be kind of rough and tumble, quite frankly. So I think there's a lot of things. There's still some real headwinds she faces, and she may even face a little stronger headwinds in her home state than she did in New Hampshire, which would be ironic.
Donald Trump, you have one bout of chaos after another. This court case, that controversy, this tweet, that senior moment. You can't fix Joe Biden's chaos with Republican chaos.
You know, as long as she's out there making these critiques, I think he and certainly his campaign knows it could provide fodder for campaign commercials for Joe Biden and the general election, more toward the fall. And so I think that's the very logical reason why he wants to end this as soon as possible, even before, Super Tuesday, if at all possible.
And from afar, if you didn't know what was going on, you'd say she's really on a tear. It's just that she's running up against a juggernaut in Donald Trump, who in both instances has secured north of 50% of the votes cast. And in every poll, either within the states that lie ahead, in the primaries that lie ahead, or in the national polls, he is just completely dominating. And so it's hard to see how she pushes off from the performance here in New Hampshire tonight into an eventual win without something fundamental shifting. She's going to need the month. She's going to need to set to work to shift the narrative of this race, call him out repeatedly for being unwilling to meet her on the debate stage, these kinds of things, and try to make the claim that she is the face of the future of the Republican Party in ways that he is not. And yeah, if she's going to shift these dynamics, she's going to have to go after him in a full-throated way. It won't do enough to just say, as she has been, that he's the chaos candidate. She's going to have to come out and say that he's unfit for office, that he doesn't represent core interests of the party and of the nation. She's going to have to actually land some punches. We saw tonight that Trump doesn't have any patience for any of that and was aghast that she didn't promptly, remove herself from the race in the aftermath of tonight's performance in New Hampshire. And so she's going to have to, get in close and land some body blows if these dynamics are going to shift and play to her favor. But she's got a long way to go.